Everybody, welcome back to the shop and the channel. So today we're going to look at doing the European style hinges, cutting the holes, the 35 millimeter holes into the cabinet doors, and a couple different options that we can do that. So we'll go through from just doing a handheld drill to a number of jigs, and go through a couple different options doing that, and then we'll be ready for get them installed into the cabinets. So one of the things I talked about a while back is one of the things that's coming up is I have a CNC machine coming, and it's it's a little bit different than what you normally have for either a hobbyist or a full-size machine. I'm pretty excited about it, and hopefully be putting some stuff out with that and learning that process as we go along. So but today we need to get some holes drilled to get some cabinet doors ready for prep for install. So let's get to that. All right, so we're going to go through a couple different options of putting our European style cup hinges in there. The biggest thing is they'll take a 35 millimeter drill bit, and so I've got a couple of different styles here. So I've got this Kreg, and I've used this. This one tends to be kind of wobble a little bit, so I don't use this more. I actually can't even find the bit for it, but you know that would actually work in there. But what happens is you just come on, and you can just clamp it alongside once you get, figure out where your side is. So it sets it side to side, because this is the side of our thing. And then all you gotta do is line your top hole up. So in this case, all of our holes are gonna be 62 millimeters back from our edge. And that way. And then we want to be 23 millimeters in this direction. So that should be about a center of a hole. So there's a couple of, like I said, there's a couple different ways we can do it. One with the Kreg, we can just get this lined up and do it that way. And then another way is, this is a a self-guided bit. So you just line your little center point up, and drill it down that way. And then it's got a shoulder on here, so once it's in there, it will it'll stop when it gets to the depth it needs to be. So, and then this one is one I just picked up too off of Amazon. It actually, you can set the depth by your stop up here, and it will go down to whatever the depth that you're supposed to, and then it won't let you go any further, so you don't drill through. And then it just clamps on. And then the one thing on a lot of the cabinets is you've got somewhere between a 3 and a 5 millimeter setback for your cabinet hinge. So somewhere, I believe these are set up for 5 millimeter. That should be about how far our hole comes in here and goes, is set back. I don't have the piece for the Kreg. I'm going to do one with this one and one with this one, and we'll see how those come out. And then once we get the drill, then we'll go ahead and get them mounted in there. So normally the way I would do these is I use a drill press. I've got a fence set up that I can set up my setback from my edge, and then once I get that set, then I will actually come in and set up stops for either the top or the bottom, and then I'll just like do half the door at one time. Drill that, I'll get those all drilled out, like do the top hinge, then come back, reset it, and do the bottom hinge, and then do it that way. So works out pretty well. It's pretty quick. All right, so actually those actually worked out pretty well. This was the self-guided one. We just did by hand, and then this one is the little jig. I think the jig is a little nicer because it holds it in place. But this was actually worked out pretty well, so not so bad. So next thing we need to do is we got to get our screws in, and there's the easiest way, and one of the things you want to make sure is your square. So you can just take a little square there, and then I come back in with a self-centering bit. And you want to make sure you keep this parallel and square. Then we just got to set those screws. All right, so now that those are all set, we are ready to get them installed into the cabinet. All right, that gives you a few more different options to go ahead and get those cabinet doors prepped for install. And yeah, then from there, I think next time we're going to end up going to the job site and taking a look and where that's at, and go from there. So see you next time.